of the movie is like the Rajamouli himself seeing the society. So the other aspect is as a Dalit watches it. And from a caste in this perspective, if you watch, it's a great movie. You can enjoy it because it upholds what all the caste system upholds. It including patriarchy also it upholds. So everyone will enjoy it because all are part of it. If you watch from a Dalit's perspective, then it is an atrocious movie. It is the worst casteist movie in the recent time I have seen. Of this popularity, I find. So see, Rajamouli, the problem is your movies are good. I think Ega movie, one of the one recent movies which many of the South Indians, I come from Tamil Nadu, many people enjoyed watching that Ega movie. Graphics was very good in that movie, and after that even Mahadira was a good movie. And you have a different stories, and Vikramatu, which was made into Shirtai movie. So that is also a good movie. So you have a good story in even in Bahubali 1 and 2. You have a story, a short story also. You make the audience go with the story. That is something I appreciate that. But what you're doing in that story, you degrade the Dalits. In Ika, you didn't do it. There was no conflict. There was a story between three people, a lover, and the problem between that. You make that one. So there is no caste denoting factor, and also there was no religious factor also. So, from 2006 onwards to 2015, there are three aspects in your movie which has come up, which has becoming strong and strong when the movie goes on. In the sense, first 2006 there was this Vikramotu Chirutai you made. So in Chirutai, you don't pay much attention to religious symbols as per se. You do use that symbols, but not as a conscious. Maybe consciously also you're doing that, but the religious symbol you don't give as important as Bahubali you did it. Now I'm just talking about how religious symbols has been increasing in your movie. So in 2006 you find this Vikramudu. In Vikramudu you find the hero, the first hero, the police officer, is stabbed behind by a god statue which is behind him. So the villain comes out of that god statue and kills, and the statue bursts. So that is one. And the other one is Mahadira. In Mahadira again there is a Nadaraja statue is there. Apart from that, not much importance you have given for that Nadaraja also. And so even Bahubali 1, you find a Shivan, but in all of your movies there are symbols. God will come and go. There'll be a statue somewhere kept. That is it. So Bahubali 1, you find again there's a Shivan statues there, and not much of Hindu religious symbols are imposed. But Bahubali 2, which you made and which was released now in 2017, it's completely religious. What religious you mean? Even the Kshatriya and the clan you're talking about, the slave you're talking about, which you did in the first part also. And even let us leave this caste aspect now. So the religious aspect would be like Vinayaga is coming into the picture. No point at all, because all of your movies had some connection towards your story. But in this Bahubali 2, there was no connection at all. There were hardly any connection between the religious symbols which you showed in the movie and the way the storyline goes. So all of you know that Bahubali first was the first part of Bahubali was opposed in Tamil Nadu, and the reason was that final dialogues. The final dialogue in Bahubali was talking about Chakliers, the community which I belong to. The director was there was a dialogues which talks very badly about the Chaklier community as a Pagadai, they say. So there were movements which were opposing it. So we don't find any of the criticism which was there on Bahubali 1, on Bahubali 2. So when Bahubali 2, when people are not speaking about it, then we have to relook either the director has changed, or we have to see that the criticism which was leveled against him is wrong. Only Bahubali 1 was criticized because Bahubali 1 was very explicit, and it was openly visible in that song scene how the women and the cloth, and how this hero removes it forcefully, like that they were speaking, and so it was explicit. So and this movie second part, people say that he changed, or he gave a good role for the heroine. He says that my mother is asking to arrest you and bring. So she takes a knife and says, "I, as a warrior, I will not. But as a, if you marry me something, I will come as a slave. I can till your deathbed." and that is something 2006 onwards till 2015 his movie has been having these all kinds of flavors inbuilt, and we accept that flavor. So what we accept that flavor is, it is very casteist, it is misogynist, it is very patriarchal, and also it is very religious. Religious is a later part. So these things we never criticize because we are not trained to look movies. We are trained to get into a theater, and we are trained to watch the theater, enjoy the script as it is given to us, and we come out. So that is one sad part of all of us watching the movie. So what is quite interesting of Bahubali is, even Dalits, Bahubali, not only Bahubali, other movies, generally all movies, whichever movies talks about caste, and whichever there is a feudal lord, and even his movie on Vikramarkudu, and in Tamil it is Chirutai. You find those movies where there is a feudal lord, and that feudal, and there is a subject of Dalits. So in that we find we find that Dalits also accept the movie and enjoy that movie going. So what makes the Dalits to enjoy has been my quest for a long time, and I've been looking for a movie critics. What makes me myself like if you go to Tamil Nadu, the MJR's strongest supporters are Chakliyas. So it has been my quest at least for 10-15 years. Why my father is a strongest supporter of MGR. So I've been wondering what makes them to go with MGR, or even Ejaman movie, or Chinna Kaundar movie, or Devar Mahan movie. All these movies you find people accepting that movie and enjoying that movie, including Dalits. We have to accept the fact. Bahubali second also has done something which is there on the ground. The ideology is, it's no more Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Dalits. No more like that. It is like non-Dalit versus Dalit. I think this division he makes it very clear, very very clear in this movie, that Kshatriya who wears a thread becomes a Brahmin also, Brahmin thread, and also he's a Kshatriya, and there are Dalit subject. So the fight is these two things. So he reinforces this. So for example, in earlier movies like Shankar's movies, we find it will be Brahmins versus the non-Brahmins. So interesting, you see. So if it was earlier Brahmins versus non-Brahmins, now Rajamouli, who himself is a Kamma, who is a dominant about which the caste which dominates the film industry, and also the caste which got beaten up for attacking Dalits, Madhyas. It's a very good song. Maybe all of you should watch Dalita Pulalu. Dalita Pululamma. It talks about the warriors of Madhya community, how they retaliated and beat Kammas who were dominant, who were attacking Dalits. So interestingly, Rajamouli is claiming that Brahmin status and Kshatriya status to be together versus Dalits. So that is the thing. Also, he valorizes this caste system. He not only, one thing, he makes it clear that Dalits versus non-Dalits in my understanding, and second thing, he also valorizes this caste. How he valorizes caste is, he says that Kshatriya blood, there is one scene, there is a scene where a meek Kshatriya is shown, therefore the Prabhas, who is a Raju, see the combination Raju and this is a Kammas, all jointly hands, and all the rest of them are Kammas. So Raju joins and Kammas join. So the dialogue is Prabhas speaks Kshatriya is a person who kills people to protect people. They kill people, okay, to protect. And after the fight, there is a blood in his on his face. So Prabhas says that is not blood, that is a warrior symbol. So the valorization is so dangerous. What dangerous is, Rajamouli has all rights to glorify his own caste, or also even the caste Hindus for that matter. But when he valorizes Dalits, that is a serious problem. Kattappa's character is shown as an untouchable. Then all along he says, Kshatriya says, as far as Kattappa, I'll just convert, if you convert the dialogue, Kshatriya saying, as far as untouchable, you are there with me, nobody can touch. What a shame, right? So Rajamouli is not making Bahubali, that is Prabhas keeping himself. In the sense, Prabhas is not keeping the food on his own, rather Satyaraj takes as the food. So he takes the food. I can't imagine. Can all of you Dalits, can you imagine that you will accept such a position? And why we are all silently watching these movies or something? It's very shocking for me. So so that is one. And very interestingly, if Rajamouli says that anybody might say, see, it's a story. It's a story that anybody can be a king. Anybody can be a king. Tomorrow Rajamouli can make a, or Prabhas can act as a king where Dalit is shown as a king. That is if somebody says, I think they are living in a utopian world, or they're trying to sideline the caste question. I'm not able to understand how most of our Dalit friends do watch these movies, and even can they enjoy it. And do you think that the same opposite characters, if they say these are all the characters in the movie, can we imagine a character like a Dalit, a scavenger Dalit, standing, and a Brahmin on foot on his head? Can you imagine that? Do you think the theater would be there? Will they give certificate for that movie? Populistic narration of stories, and these stories like novels and writings, and these all things reinforce the caste system. And this comes from a Gandhian ideology. It was valorizing, that taking the food and keeping on Katapa head is a complete valorization of Gandhian ideology. That Gandhi says that scavenging cannot be removed. A protest was happening in some place. Gandhi goes to the place, to the sweepers where they're protesting, and he tells, it is in his writings and speeches, he tells the sweepers that you should not protest, you should not boycott the work, rather it is owners should you should be very subservient, and you should be like a servant, like a slave, like a katapa. Company owners can treat you well. So that is what Gandhian ideology is all about. So you find even the Gandhian ideology in scavenging, in that Swachh Bharat campaign, and various other campaign is also that one, right? That Brahmin says that we'll not eradicate the system, rather Narendra Modi or the other Brahmins will take the broom and clean, and they'll go to their house. So the caste system and the stigma would be there. So always the stigma valorization is what something very dangerous.